Do electric vehicles really save the planet? Well, the question is, do they really emit less carbon emissions in their lifetime? And everyone knows people that kind of virtue signal if they own a Tesla and think that they're saving the planet. But you got to ask yourself, why does the government have to get involved when it comes to electric vehicles and green energy, so called, if it was profitable? Because if green energy is profitable, the government wouldn't have to get involved at all. If somebody could come to your house, sell you solar panels, and say it would be cheaper, better, more dense, all these things, if you got solar panels, most people would sign up for it. And to a certain extent, that does work in sunny areas. But same thing with EVs. A lot of people get distracted. They think, okay, it's electric. They don't think about well, how did you get the lithium out of the ground? Mhm. And one thought that a lot of people don't have is how much it costs to insure these things. Because when you're insuring an electric vehicle, and I'm not against electric vehicles, and everyone watching this channel is not against saving the planet. That's the that's the misnomer that a lot of people have. It's like, well, if you don't want green energy, then somehow you want the planet to die. Well, in reality, the actual argument, which is what we need energy. China's on the same planet as us. If they're emitting twice the amount of carbon emissions as we drop ours, does that really help anybody? No. Um, but then we have EVs. They're more expensive to insure, and the reason they're more expensive to insure is when you get in a little fender bender, the battery, most of the batteries are scrapped, and that costs about 50% of the vehicle. So let's take a look at this article here from Reuters that I found interesting because I was looking at the I'm I like EVs. They giddy up and go, but they're more expensive. So this pie in the sky, everyone's going to drive an EV. Which, by the way, by law, you can't sell. I believe gas powered vehicles in California after 2035. Says here at the top, scratched EV battery. Your insurer may have to junk the whole car. So what are they going to have to do for insurance? Maybe we need the government to come in and tell these insurance companies you can't charge more. Have we ever tried that? Price controls? Let's do that. Um, reading from the article here. For many electric vehicles, there's no way to repair and assess even the slightest damage to battery packs after an accident, forcing the insurance company to write off cars with few miles. Carbon emissions much, leading to higher premiums and uncutting the gains from going electric. Hmm. Now these battery packs are piling up in scrapyards. In some countries, a previously unreported expense gap in what was supposed to be a circular economy. Meaning, you get those batteries, you charge them. Hey, everyone wins. Oh wait, what happens if they get an accident? Oh well, you have to dispose of them, and it um, doesn't really offset your carbon credits. Battery packs can cost tens of thousands of dollars and represent up to 50% of the EV's price tag, often making it uneconomical to replace them. I'm going to go on a little rant here. If the free market was in charge of this and it didn't require government subsidies, you got to ask yourself, by the way, I found out what that noise is, and it's my email, and I forgot to close it. Okay, it's closed now. If the free market was in charge of EVs, and I'm not against them, as most people aren't, who is against them? But if the free market was in charge, they would do a cost benefit analysis. And if the cost was more than the benefit, they wouldn't be able to sell them. But the government comes in and subsidizes this industry, which in the long run hampers it because they're able to cut corners because they have demand that isn't there organically. It's there because people get tax credits. It's there because they get subsidies from the government. So if you are a company who offers solar energy, even if it doesn't work in the area you're providing it, if you're getting the subsidy, you're going to sell it. That's what's going to happen. Same thing with EVs. But when it comes to personal finances, your personal finances, if you buy an EV, insurance costs more, and actually offsetting the carbon that is produced from the lithium, it takes roughly, depending on the car, about 60,000 miles with your EV. What if you get in an accident? Uh-oh, a demerit, green energy demerit on your organic scale. So all of this is Fugazi. Everyone, the whole green energy movement, no one's against renewables. Renewables are great, but they have to be dense enough. Same thing with EVs. They have to be affordable. And to make them affordable, government is just subsidizing them, which in the long run doesn't actually produce what they're trying to produce, which is less carbon emissions. Surprise, surprise. And then people buy them and they get stuck with, oh, wait a second, my insurance cost doubled. Why? Because if I get in a wreck in this Tesla, my battery is scratched in the slightest, I have to scrap the whole car because the battery is 50% of the value of the car. Kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. All right, let's continue reading. All right, unless Tesla and other car makers produce more easily repairable battery packs and provide third-party access to battery cell data, which they don't want to do because it's proprietary, already high insurance premiums will keep rising as EV sales grow and more mileage cars get or low mileage cars get scrapped after collisions, and insurers and industry experts said. Noted EV battery production emits far more CO2 than fossil fuel models. Okay, so the production of the car produces more CO2. So in order to offset those CO2 emissions, to get your carbon credits, you have to drive 60,000 miles. This means that EVs must be driven for thousands of miles before they offset those extra emissions. If you throw away the vehicle at the early stage, you've lost pretty much all advantages in terms of CO2 emissions, he said. So if that CBDC comes out, you better not get in a wreck with your EV, because you're only allowed so much petroleum. This is all a joke, folks. I think this push for green energy, as I've mentioned many times before, we live on the same planet as China, as the emerging markets. And if we're looking at who emits the most carbon, it would be China in those emerging markets. So as we literally shoot ourselves in the foot with our energy production, with this virtue signaling for EVs, which even from a personal perspective, it doesn't offset carbon. It says so right in the article. It takes as much carbon or more to produce an EV. And what happens if you get in a wreck? All that carbon you're not emitting in the air is offset because you have to throw away the battery. This is probably one of the biggest cults in United States politics, in my opinion, is this green energy movement. If it produced more dense energy and it was cheaper, people would go for it. The free market would be involved, and it wouldn't require government subsidies. But now what they have to do is take productive dollars from fossil fuels to fund this boondoggle that they're going on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, I like EVs. I like Teslas that get up and go. I'm not against them. But if we're doing it to offset greenhouse gases, I think that's a total joke. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. See y'all in the next one. Peace.